So what's your opinion on some people linking these Shetrapalakas with some Tantra or dark practices?
One of the main devatas of Tantra is Bhairava. Certain places in central Himalaya region and all that, let's say someone richer than them, taking advantage of them, and they do not have the resources to fight in a legal matter that takes years, as you know. So they'll go to these small shrines of Bhairava and say, if I'm wrong, strike me down. But if I have been, cheated, handle that person.
Are these Shetrapalakas limited to Bharat only?
Just not limited to Bharat. There are also Shetrapalakas who are from other realms like Narakalok. So I was born in Singapore and I lived in Singapore. So in the Chinese belief, on the 7th month, Narakalok opens and all the souls and atmas who have been getting their punishment and all that are released for the 1 month so that they can come back to Bhulok and meet or see their relatives.
So there was a character who was portrayed as a Shetrapalak, the Gulika Dev. So I just want to know how true was the aspects which was shown in the movie.
Especially Rishabh Shetty and all that, they are from that tradition. And when they did the movie, he did Varata. He asked permission from these oracles and then he did that movie.
If you have seen Kantara and thought it was just a movie, wait till you hear what really happens. What if I told you that not every holy space is safe and some temples are so powerful that they actually need some guardians to protect you from what's inside? Today I am joined by Sriji, a Ganesh Mantra Sadhak and someone who has served as an oracle of Karuppan Swami, who is one of the fiercest guardian deity of India. In this podcast, we are talking about some secrets that are not shared publicly, why some holy places can carry dangers, what role does the Shetrapalak or the Karuppan Swami actually plays, and how Shani Grah can stop you from entering some sacred places. We will also explore a terrifying side of Eastern spirituality, the hell god of Narkaloka, ancient rituals where the gods speak through the human body, and how stepping over the food offering can change your life forever. So sit back, relax, grab your cup of tea and let's get started. Jai Shri Ram Guruji. Guruji, happy to see you on the Young Podcast, and I'm pretty sure that our conversation is going to be very intense and deeper. We are going to discuss about some powers and dark tantra which many people aren't aware of, and this podcast will enlighten them about the information about these deities and these powers. Being a Sanatani, the first thing which crosses our mind is going to some sacred places or spiritual places which are commonly believed that as if the god and goddesses have visited here, or essentially they lived here or even present till today. But what I see, the people think their problem will get solved after visiting those kshetras and everything is going to be good forever. They even feel more safer there and believe that nothing can harm them. So can we be naive or innocent while going to these places, or do we need some protection?
So that is a very good question. Nowadays, a lot of the kshetras have been developed or are being developed, like corridors are being done so that it's more accessible to the general public. Back in the day when someone is going to Kashi, for example, they usually go at the end of their life where their children are all grown up and most of their duties are done. And they would call all their relatives, give them a meal and say, we are going for Kashi Yatra. Because back in the day, people would go in bullock carts or Pada Yatra for weeks and months to these kshetras and they will not know whether they come back or not. So they will make sure their affairs are all in order. These days, because we have flights, we have all kinds of transportation, hotels are being built around these kshetras. It's become more accessible. We see a lot of Instagram reels and YouTube videos and things like that on these kshetras. So to the common man, the kshetra has become much more accessible. There is both good and bad for this, because just because it becomes more accessible, it's not necessarily all good. A lot of bad things and negative things can also happen to you in a kshetra. Like recently during the Mahakumbh, that unfortunate happening of that stampede and things like that has happened. People ask why these things happen, right? Now, a lot of times we go to these kshetras to get rid of our doshas, drishti and things like that. But if our dosha itself is so strong, the place that we go to solve our problem is the place where we get even more problems.
Correct. But I think that is the case of mismanagement, maybe by the people or the politicians. So how can we link this mismanagement with the bad energy or spirituality?
A stampede happening can be mismanagement, but happening on Mahakumbh, happening on a time with the intention where people go to get rid of their Pitrudosh, there's always a link. I have met people who have gone to Kashi, for example, and they went to Kashi to do their karyas for their dead parent. And the moment they stepped into Kashi, they got a very aggressive kind of sickness that accelerated while they stepped into Kashi. So people don't understand that different kshetras have different energies, right? So, example, they think Shiva is Shiva everywhere. Ultimately, in the absolute level, Shiva is one. But in the different temples and kshetras where that pranapratishta has been done, it is done in a specific way. The mood that he is in, the character that he is in is different. So, Shiva is in a different mood when he is in Kashi. He is in a different mood when he is in Sri Sailam. In Pashupatinath, in Kathmandu, is in a different mood. In Ujjain, as Mahakal, is in a different mood. So, it's a different form of the same Shiva, right? In Pashupatinath, for example, he is in a very Kalyan roop. He wants to give. So, if you have desires, you go there. So, you get your desires fulfilled. In Kashi, he is compassionate, but in a very high level of compassion, because he wants to clear your karma.
Correct. Actually, it is believed that the one who dies in Kashi or gets his final rites done there goes directly to Swarg or the heaven.
Or if you go to Kashi, you'll feel like dying also if the stars are aligned that way. So, because in Kashi, Shiva is in the mood of clearing your karma aggressively.
It is also said that we have to be more cautious while going to the Manikarnika Ghat or Kashi, because one can attract a bad energy with them while returning.
It's not only that. So, because if you read the Puranas, Skanda Purana and Shiva Purana and all that, they tell you that humans are not the only ones inhabiting these places. You have Gandharvas, you have Kinnaras, you have Buddha Pisachas, all kinds of beings also go there to do their sadhana. Humans are not the only one doing sadhana, the other beings are also doing sadhana there. And a lot of Pitru karmas are done down there for all the people who are dead, Aghal Marana and things like that, right? So there's a lot of souls also down there in Kashi. So when you go to these places, like I told you that Mahakumbh, you go to Kashi and things like that, you must have protection or you must know what you are doing.
So what kind of protection do we need?
Example, I will mention this thing that happened during Mahakumbh. One of my shishya had brought his partner there. They didn't ask me and they just went there. So the partner was sitting around and saw one of that akadas doing homa, and she saw something in that fire and she collapsed. And when she came back to Delhi, she started having a lot of bad dreams. And then, her mind was very affected. She would just start crying and she would have suicidal thoughts. And then my shishya brought his partner to me and some negativity was attached to her. So first I scolded him, why did you just go there without asking me and go there without any protection? Then I told certain upayas for them to follow, and after some time she became normal again. So this it happens a lot in a lot of these places. That's why you need to have some protection, some sadhana, or worship certain devatas like Shetrapalakas before you go to such places.
You have just mentioned the term Shetrapalak. What I think these are some powers or guiding forces which protect us while we are in their region or in their areas. These are like some bodyguards.
So the word Shetrapalaka has multiple meanings. Just like anything in Sanatana Dharma, you have different levels of explanations, different levels of understanding. So in the very basic sense, almost every Kshetra, there will be a guardian of the Kshetra, right? So in Kashi, you have Kal Bhairav. If you go to Maharashtra, either you have Kandoba.
Kandoba. Okay.
You go to other places, there's Khatu Shyam.
Right. In Rajasthan.
Yeah, Rajasthan. And if you go to the southern areas like in Madurai and all that, you have Karuppan. So the simple role of them is the guardian of the Kshetra. So whether it's Kashi, who guards Kashi, Kal Bhairav, who guards Madurai, Karuppan, and things like that. So the simplest meaning is they protect the Kshetra. But not only do they protect the Kshetra, they also protect the people coming to the Kshetra. Right? So example, for Kashi, if you go to what has been written in the Skanda Purana, it says how you should actually have darshan of Kashi Vishwanath. You don't just go and have darshan of Kashi Vishwanath first. First you have to go and see Dundiraj, Ganapati down there, get his permission. You need to get permission of Kal Bhairav.
Kal Bhairava.
Right? Kal Bhairav himself has a right hand down there called Aksharaja, who reports to him. You need to actually see him, get permission of both of them. Right? Ask them to protect you. And then you go and see Vishwanath. You don't just see Vishwanath like that. Right? And
We can't go directly to the Vishwanath. Also.
yeah, there's a certain procedure and process.
It's like getting a permission, I think.
Yeah, it's permission. And also, so basic level is they are the protectors of the Kshetra.
So if we want to simply understand the word Shetrapalak, can we call them directly the king of that region, or they are the Senapati?
King would be the main devata.
Okay.
You say Vishwanath is the king of Kashi.
Okay.
Right? Kal Bhairav would be the bodyguard.
Bodyguard.
Right? The captain, the bodyguard. So that would be how the Shetrapalaka is for a Kshetra.
There are many sacred places where we simply can't go or visit casually, and even if we plan, it continues to get cancelled or postponed, and that is very quite common between us. I will tell you something about my plans. I had plans to visit Kedarnath, and I planned that every year, but somehow that is not happening. And I do the same with Jagannath Puri as well, but some or the other obstacle come and the plan gets cancelled.
So another aspect is, now let's say you are going to a Kshetra. You have certain problems in life, right? Certain doshas. Let's say you consulted an astrologer and he says you have Nagadosh, right? So sometimes Nagadosh happens if you killed a snake in your previous life or you broke a snake pit, their home, no? You destroyed their home and things like that. There are levels of Nagadosh. You have certain Graha dosh. Let's say you have Sarasati. You have very extreme that Shani Parva is going on, right? Or some Pitru karmas that you have not done your duty, like your parents have not done the Tarpanam rituals for your grandfather, great-grandfather, or you have forgotten your Kuldevi, Kuldevatas. So you have the Shaba of the Kuldevi, Kuldevata. So they ask you to go to a Kshetra. So you go there thinking that your problem will be solved, right? But the ones who have been offended, let's say the Nag Devatas, right? Or the one who is trying to get you to return the justice because you've done something wrong. So in this life, you have to pay back that karma. So Shani Dev is coming to actually make you pay back. They're not going to simply allow you to go to the Kshetra because they want to extract that pound of flesh from you, right? So without a Shetrapalakas protection, in your journey to that place, you will face a lot of obstacles, right? Your car could get crashed, right? You might hire the Pandita and when you go down there, Pandita is missing, right? You might have some problems with that, let's say, government officials in the trip. Or just when you plan everything, someone in your home might get sick. Then you have to postpone. Right?
Once I heard someone talking about Shetrapalikas, and they said that the Shetrapalikas to possess people to deliver their messages.
When you're talking about possession
by a Shetrapalaka.
by a Shetrapalaka. Not just Shetrapalaka, a lot of Grama Devatas are known to possess people. It's a very elaborate topic, but see, these oracles and shamans tradition of the deity descending into the body is not something new. Right? Before religion became an organized religion where puja padatis were formed by the rishis, and how to worship a murti, how to build a temple by the rules of the agamas. Before all of these happened, people used to live in tribes, and they would have that shaman, that oracle, where the protector of that village, but the protector of the village is also a Shetrapalaka, right? He would descend, and then he or she would descend, and they would give advice how they should be worshipped, right? So, example, in the south in Kerala, there's this temple, Shabarimala temple, where people go take a very hard vrata, 48 days of vrata. They sleep on the floor. They do not shave for those days. They keep away from their spouse. They are vegetarian. They eat one meal a day. And then after the 48th day, they go for that darshan of the Lord. So these days you go and climb and see that murti of Shasta or Ayyappa. But even before that, that Shasta or Ayyappa used to descend into people. If you read the history, in the ancient times, he would descend into this chosen oracle, and he would explain what is to be done, how he should be worshipped, and things like that. In the same way, if you, in Tamil Nadu, there are a lot of temples. They have that 6 temples of Murugan or Skanda. Skanda worship is very famous in Tamil Nadu. So you have these 6 temples of Skanda where he looks, in each of the temples, he looks different. So just like you have Ashtavinayak in Maharashtra. So here you have the 6, they call it the Arupadi, the 6 places of Skanda. Now everybody follows a specific worship, following that Shaiva Siddhanta worship of those temples. But if you look at the background history, it was very different. One of the oldest texts that mention these temples is Tirumurugatruppade, where it was a text written at least 3,000 years ago. They mention where in some of these Kshetras, Murugan or Skanda would descend into that shaman and celebrate and interact with the tribal people there. Right? So it is a very, very ancient tradition that is not only part of our culture, it's part of many, many different cultures. Not only in India, even in Greece. Anyone watched the movie 300, they will know there was these oracles of Delphi.
Correct.
Apollo, the deity, would descend on these oracles, and they would speak, and these kings and all that will listen and make their moves, whether it's to go to a battle and things like that. They would interact with the devatas.
I think there's a misconception about this oracle tradition. According to you, what I have understood, that these are some chosen beings which the god chooses for the deities to come. But I think in India, many people claims that the god enters their body and they start doing weird acts or dances, or simply rotating their head in a wild manner. So what's your opinion on such stuff?
So, okay, we can't just paint everyone in just one brush and say all of them are real or all of them are fake. So in almost every industry or lawyer, doctor, politician, we have good people. We also have fakes, right? So in any human group, or it's just humans being humans, there will be good people, there will be fake people. So it's not in this oracle thing, it's similar. Right? Even if you are hiring pandita, you have very nice, good panditas, and there are some panditas who will ask you like lakhs of money to do this puja and that puja, right? That doesn't mean because of that one pandita, all panditas are bad. Right? In the same way, there are people who, let's say, maybe they are not a chosen oracle. Maybe they want to have certain, respect from other people, or maybe they could have some mental conditions. Right? It's hard to say. It's hard to just give a blanket statement to everybody. So there's good and bad, but when I say about oracle, I'm not meaning what some person randomly getting the deity into them during a festival or a procession or a puja. I mean, people who have a Guru Shishya relationship where the tradition has been followed for a long time, or that bloodline. I mean, that great grandfather was an oracle in that place, then the grandfather, then the father, right? So I have even seen where there's a very famous case in Kerala, where they had the Teyyam, that dance where the deity descends and all that. The deity only comes into this specific family. So what happened was, this specific person made a mistake during the puja, and in some weeks he passed on, a young guy. So some of his family members were settled in the US, working in IT jobs and all that. So there was no one to continue. So they came for his funeral. The deity descended onto the person who was an IT person in the US and all that. Then, because it's his bloodline, right? And the deity chose, so you can't really do anything. And then he ended up taking over that person who had passed on. So the oracle who's coming from a proper Guru Shishya lineage, or from that bloodline that has been chosen to serve the devatas, is one thing. People randomly coming is another thing.
So you are saying that the god doesn't choose any random person.
They have their places, right? So if you know these traditions, you know where these oracle things happen, and you go that way.
So what's your opinion on some people linking these Shetrapalakas or these deities with some tantra or dark practices?
So that's a very detailed topic. So now, Tantra, one of the main devatas of Tantra is Bhairava.
Right.
Right? So in Tantras, it's a wide subject. It goes from sadhana, spiritual practice, all the way to the highly philosophical aspects of spirituality. Right? So we have great people like Abhinava Gupta from Kashmiri Shaivism, who have given sermons and great works of philosophy on Bhairava as the ultimate form. So we are talking, that is the philosophical aspect of Tantra. Now we have the day-to-day basis, right? In certain places in central Himalaya region and all that, people worship Bhairava, right? And this Bhairava descends on the body of these oracles. So what happens is, day to day they have a problem, and let's say someone richer than them, someone is taking advantage of them, right? And they do not have the resources to fight in a legal matter that takes years, as you know. So they'll go to these small shrines of Bhairava and say, Bhairava, if I'm wrong, strike me down. But if I have been, cheated, or if I have been, made use of, please handle that person. And there are stories of these things happening, a lot of stories like that. So when we're talking about tantric link to these devatas, so a lot of these devatas, Shetrapalakas, are seen as aspects or emanations of Bhairava, be it Khatu Shyam, be it Karuppan, right? Be it Kandoba. For example, Kandoba is the deity who rides on a horse.
So these Shetrapalakas have some connection with Bhairava Baba?
Yeah. All these deities are seen as emanations of Bhairava Baba. So, for example, Khatu Shyam is seen as an emanation, even though he has his own separate folk story. Right? Karuppan is seen as an emanation, right? Because even his Gayatri mantra for Karuppan becomes Kala Kalaya Vidmahe, Ukra Kalaya Dhimahe. So who's Kala Kal, who's Ukra Kal, right? And we have Kandoba. Even though originally he's called as Kandoba, he is also known as Martanda Bhairava in Maharashtra. So they are all seen as emanations. Emanations mean, like, if we say Parshuram is not a full avatar of Vishnu, Amsha avatar. So these Shetrapalakas are seen as Amsha avatars, a very intense, smaller forms of the great Bhairava.
So we can say that they are just minute part of that deity.
Like we have that Daksha story. Shiva takes his head and he hits his head on the ground, and Veerabhadra comes from Shiva, right? So Veerabhadra is seen as an amsha of Shiva himself, right? So it's the same way.
Correct. Well, I read your book and I got to know that you have been an oracle of Karuppa Swami since you were 12. So would you please tell me a little more about the Karuppa Swami? And does Karuppa Swami have some regional stories around?
So when I was 12, I had my guru. I became an oracle when I was 19, and I served as an oracle for 12 years until my guru was no more. And then I stopped being an oracle, and I just went into teaching my shishyas and how people can do sadhana and connect with the deity. Now, when coming to Karuppan, so he has many names, right? So they call him Karuppan, they call him Karuppan Swami because Karuppan is black, dark. So Karuppan Swami means the dark god, Kal, Mahakal. So that is that link. So they also call him Sangli Karuppan. So Sangli means chain. So the dark god who holds the chains. So that is Karuppan Swami. So he's very popular god in South India, right? So in a lot of the villages, you will see his shrine outside at that edge of the village, where he will be seated on a horse, carrying either khadga or chains or spear as a protector, right?
I can say he has his weapons.
Yeah, he has his weapon. So even there's a lot of temples of his all throughout South India. Even I built a temple for him last year and consecrated. We had Kumbhabhishekam last year. So we just had our 1 year puja that happened recently. So he is a Shetra Palaka, very, very intense and powerful Bhairava form, and a god of justice. So they would offer cigars to him. They would offer, they call it toddy. In Tamil Nadu.
What does it mean?
That alcohol that comes from that palm.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, so that alcohol, they would offer that in his shrines. Right? And they offer bali and things like that. So he's a very fast-acting god, fast-reacting god. So he's known for his quickness. Right? So his vahana is a horse.
Quick justice.
So every time you see a devata, they have an animal and all that, right? That animal is a symbolic of what the devata is about.
So because he rides a horse, he delivers quick justice.
Quick justice, if justice is on your side.
Okay.
So I said he is an emanation of Bhairava, right? So if you yourself are worshipping him, and then you are taking advantage, if you are a position of power, let's say you're a politician and then you're taking advantage of the public, you are a man and then you're beating up your wife, right? If you are in a position of power and you take advantage of people and then you worship him, he will hit you only. He's not going to help you. Because I remember a couple of years ago, there was a politician who approached me, messaged me on social media, who saw my writings of Karuppan and all that, and he's like, oh, he's looks like a Ugra Devata and very fierce. I would like to worship him, and because I'm in politics and I need to be strong and fierce and everything. Can you teach me? Next, I can teach you, but this sadhana you should do, you must make sure you are not taking advantage of people, and you must be proper. And if you say you want to progress in your political career, you must be helping people. Say, yeah, I will, everything. I won't tell which party he's from. And then sometime later he said he lost his position in his party, and I'm sorry, Guruji, I didn't tell you, I was having a mistress.
Oh.
Right. So I thought, I shouldn't tell you this thing and all that, and I lost her, and now I'm in a big trouble with my wife and things like that. So you can lie to me, but you can't lie to the Devata. Right.
Devata knows everything.
Yeah.
What I think is every Shetrapalaka or Karuppan Swami itself is fierce by nature. So they being fierce, does this have any significance?
So I was speaking earlier about how if you are going to Kshetras and all that, it's better to have some protection by worshipping such Shetrapalakas, right? So they are always fierce. If you look at a police officer is fierce, the people will be afraid. If it's a smiling, happy-go-lucky, jovial police officer, no criminal is going to be afraid of them, right? So their nature is to be fierce.
Okay.
But their fierceness is only for people who are evil, right? Because most of the times they have this thing where the fierce people are the ones who are also the most compassionate, right? So you will see like Kali Devi looks so fierce, but Paramahamsa Ramakrishna was so close to her, she was like the mother, and she was so loving to him, right? So the fierceness is only for people who are evil, bad. That fierceness turns to compassion to the people who are like children to them, right? So like a mother who's very fierce, who's also the one who's the most protective of the child also, right? So it's the same way. And this thing where people say they're afraid of Ukra Devatas, actually the Saumya Devatas are much more scary than the Ukra Devatas.
It is quite surprising that the Soumya Devatas are much more scary than the fierce ones.
See, for someone who's always angry, they're easy to cool down.
Okay.
For a person who's never angry, when you get them angry, you're not going to be able to cool them down. You have always these paintings of Lord Shiva always in meditation and he's calm and cool, but the moment he opens his third eye, right?
And destruction.
Yeah, so it's the same way. So you have like Lalita Tripura Sundari and all that. She's always smiling and all that, but she killed Pandasura.
When it comes to his main power.
So it's very, very different. So you can't just judge based on appearance.
Right. No doubt. There's a reason as why the villagers are scared of the Shetrapalikas rather than loving them, because of their fierce nature. Obviously, everybody in this world has an evil side. So my question is, are these Shetrapalikas limited to Bharat only?
They are not only just not limited to Bharat, they are also not limited to just Bhulok.
Okay.
So there are also Shetrapalakas who are from other realms like Narakalok, and all that, and who traverse the plane from Narakalok to Bhulok. So I'll give you an example. So I was born in Singapore and I lived in Singapore. So we have a lot of mixed cultural traditions because there's a lot of Chinese people living there, Asia. So we have this very popular festival called the Hungry Ghost Festival that happens on the 7th lunar month every year. So in the Chinese belief, on the 7th month, Narakalok opens and all the souls and atmas who have been getting their punishment and all that are released for the 1 month so that they can come back to Bhulok and meet or see their relatives, all those who are living, and also have food and things like that. So what happens is, there will also be a lot of people or a lot of atmas who come up, right? Their family is no longer there. So they are looking for food. So this festival, what happens is, they offer a lot of food all over the streets, right? They burn offerings, joss stick, incense stick, orange, cakes and all that. They leave it on the street for not just their ancestors, for those who
don't have their family.
Yeah, no family. So take a pity on these hungry ghosts so that they can also consume some food. So what happens is, but sometimes, when you release all of them, some of them don't want to go back to their punishment, right?
Right.
So they would abscond. They would not go back when it's time. So in Narakalok, in the Chinese tradition, they have deities called Jiape, Toape, who are like these jailers. They would come out. They got a list of these fellas who are supposed to report back. They have not reported back. And they will go and actually bring back these atmas back to Narakalok. So I had this incident when I was a child. We were in my apartment facing the window of our living room, just like jungle, all trees and all that. During this Hungry Ghost festival, my brother was just like, looking out the window at night and just zoning out. And then he started hearing someone calling his name. So his name is Sanjeev. So like, Sanjeev. and the sound keep getting closer.
So
And closer.
was it a familiar voice?
No, it was someone he doesn't know.
Okay.
It was like a female voice calling to him, and it kept getting closer and closer. And right when it was almost close to that window itself, there was a heavy gust of wind coming from this way. And when there's heavy gust of wind, that leaves and all start rustling. And there was a sound of chains that came this way and sort of like took away whatever was coming along with it. And I was also very young. And when we asked my Guruji, they said that these Shetrapalakas who are on duty were in that moment, they just took that, whatever it was there, and just took it away. So that Shetrapalaka is called Jiape. So he is a Chinese version of Karuppan. He wears black. He smokes cigar. He wears chains on his body. And in the Chinese tradition, they have a unique story about him. That during one of the emperor's time, he was a very strict police officer.
Okay.
And his elder superior police officer, during some issue, told him to stay near the banks of a river. And because he always followed strictly to his dharma, a flood was happening, and he just stood there because it was his instruction. And eventually he drowned in the flood, but he never moved. But because he was that kind of a dharmic person, when he died and he went to Narakalok, Yamadharmaraj saw him and said, you are such a strict person. I will employ you. I'll keep you in Naraka as one of these guardians to go and continue your police work even after that. And he became a Shetrapalaka. And it was interesting that once I met these oracles from also these traditions, and I asked them, because they was wearing the same chain and this thing that we Karuppan also wears, and they said, are you all the same deity? And then that Jiape had said that where he goes, I follow. Where I go, he follows. So I remember that lines up till this day.
So I think these are some beings from another world or universe who are simultaneously present in different universe at the same time. By the way, the tradition you were talking about, the Hungry Ghost festival and the people offering food for their ancestors or some other spirits, this is quite common to some acts which we do during the Dussehra, Diwali or Holi. Then what are the differences between Indian tradition and the Chinese tradition?
That Hungry Ghost festival happens around the time where our Shravan Mass happens. And there's that Amavasya that comes, which is very important, where in our tradition, Amavasya is the time where we do for Pitrus.
Right.
And their Pitrus are also coming to earth at that point of time. So we have a very similar timing where our Pitrus are on Bulok. The only difference is they use the medium that is fire. They burn the offerings.
Okay.
When we offer to our Pitrus, we use water. We do Tarpana rituals. We go to that holy river and things like that. Only the medium changes. The things are still the same. And like you said, they leave these offerings and things like that. And you're not supposed to step on them, because there's always these cases where someone accidentally steps on something and it follows you back. Or that's why, like example, if you see in any puja items like pan and lemon near the crossroads and things like that, it is better not to step on them, because if you step on them, you might get that whatever is attached to these offerings, especially crossroads, where crossroads are seen like portal to the other realms, right? So that's why we usually, when we do puja, when you have crossroads, you give that lemon as a bali and you live in these places. So it's better not to step on them, or walk across them and things like that.
So we should be more cautious while crossing the junction or the crossroads, and we should be more aware if we find something unusual or suspicious. Coming back to the Karuppan Swami, is there any story behind this, he being a ghost hunter?
So, see, for a lot of devatas, they have many regional stories that are attached to them. right? So every sampradaya might have a different story. You can't say only my story is real and all that. It's just like if someone says in the house, your mother and father say, my son is so and so this way. But your friends might see another different side of you,
Correct.
right? Your partner or your wife or your girlfriend might see another different side of you.
So you are a different person for every different individual.
Your mom and dad can't say only the side that they see is only side, right? So for Karupar, he's such an ancient devata. There are so many sampradayas who worship him in so many different ways. So I've mentioned before that he is seen as Bhairava Amsha in certain sampradayas, right? He is a protector. In the villages, we have this thing called Villupattu, village ballads, songs that are sung. And in those village traditions, he is seen as the secret son of Lord Ram, Shri Ram.
But to my knowledge, Ram had only two sons, Love and Kush.
So the story is, or the belief is in these Tamil villages, so Ram's two sons, everybody knows, Love and Kush.
Love and Kush.
So there was a point of time where Ma Sita was with Love and Kush in the jungle, living in Valmiki's ashram.
Right.
So one day, one of the child disappeared somewhere and did not return. And Valmiki got a little bit afraid. So he, with his mantra Shakti, took darba grass. With his mantra Shakti, made another child that looks like the younger son, and then sent both children to Sita and Lord Ram. And then later the other boy also came back. So there was this incident of who is that real son. So the two sons were made to walk on fire. And Rama's real son walked on fire normally. The other son that was made by Mantra Shakti, using the darba grass, when he stepped on fire, he became black because it's grass,
Okay.
And then it found out that this was the son that was made by Valmiki's Mantra Shakti. So Sri Ram in this story, this regional story, says that I will adopt you as my son as well, and you will become a Shetrapalaka of this region.
Karuppan Swami?
Yeah, so what happens is he will be positioned in the south. He'll make him as a Shetrapalaka in the south. Then, you always protect this region, and anyone who comes without permission, you stop them. So in this story, one day Karuppan Swami would be flying across. Then Karuppan would stop him. It's like, you don't have permission. Then Hanuman would be like, I'm also like a son to Ram. I'm also serving Ram, you're also serving Ram. Just let me through. And he would say, no, Ram has not given permission. I can't let you cross. So there will be a fight between both of them. There will be a great battle. And eventually Hanuman Swami would tie him up in these magical chains, bind him, and then he will leave the fight. And Karuppan will break away from the chains. But Ram will come and calm him down. And from then on, that chains that he was used to bind became his weapons. That he uses to catch these unruly spirits and ghosts and bind them. So that is one of the regional stories of how Sri Ram's secret son became a Shetrapalaka.
And all these stories are reminding me of a very popular movie, the Kantara. So there was a character who was portrayed as a Shetrapalak, the Gulika Dev. So I just want to know how true was the aspects which was shown in the movie.
So basically that actor Rishabh Shetty did a really, really good job because he is also from that Tulunadu, right? And he grew up in that tradition. He was not someone who is just acting. That's why sometimes you see these Bollywood actors do atrocious roles as Ramayana when they themselves do not worship Ramayana, and it comes to be a terrible movie. But these people who are doing it, especially Rishabh Shetty and all that, they are from that tradition. They lived that tradition. They were born in that tradition. And when they did the movie, he did Varata. He asked permission from these oracles, and then he did that movie.
I have seen his interviews and he said that he was totally a different person during this shoot.
Yeah. So he take vrata and all that. You see, like, if someone like I've been an oracle in my life, so I can see what is real and what is fake, and you can see that in that movie that there was something magical happening in that movie, and he was doing something, right? It was not just purely acting. There's something was going on. So it was a very accurate portrayal.
Okay, that is
Because-
accurate.
Yeah, it's very accurate, and also that part where there's two devatas, Panjuli and Agulika Devata.
Agulika Devata.
Right? So Panjuli says that, even if I forgive you, my Shetrapalaka won't forgive you.
Huh.
Right. So and later on when that king's descendant changes the tune, they break the promise. Right. And that's when the Shetrapalaka takes, avenges the people who have been abused, the villagers and all that. Remember I told you earlier in the podcast where this Bhairava comes in this central Himalayas, and where people have been taken advantage of, he takes that revenge. In the same way, they show that these Shetrapalakas, if you give your word, you must be true to your word. You can't just switch your word, and then there's no forgiveness after that.
What I have understood is the justice of the Shetrapalak or the Karuppan Swami is not limited to this life only, and their justice follows us even after this life.
Justice is not just for one life. So sometimes when someone does something wrong, that entire bloodline would suffer. So you have seen there are a lot of cases where you would see someone in their previous or let's say great grandfather makes a promise, and then they breaks the promise to a devata, and then for 3-4 generations, all the children born, at least one child would have some defect in the body, or they would go childless, and they face a lot of problems. So once you incur the wrath of a devata, it doesn't just go with just you, it goes to your bloodline as well.
So if someone's lineage has been cursed by Karuppan Swami for their ancestral deeds and their bloodline is suffering till date, so is there any solution to get rid of this?
The devatas are quick to punish, but they are also quick to forgive as well.
Okay.
So you have to find out what is actually you did, right? And how bad that karma is. Usually if you go to a good Jyotishi, they would be able to tell you. Or in Kerala, they have these things called prasanna, where they throw the cowrie shells and they find out these things. And they will tell you the remedy. But also to actually do the remedy, it also is another aspect. Remember I told you, if you have certain great doshas and they want to punish you, even when you're going to the place to clear it, is the place where you get problems, right? That's why you need some form of Shakti, some form of Devata to protect you. You need to pray to them before you go to these places and do your pariharas and things like that.
Being an oracle of Karuppan Swami, could you please let me know what does the Karuppan Swami or any Shetrapalak wants to communicate through the body of an oracle?
They can say many things. Depends on your personal situation.
Right.
So back in the day, the oracles would do basically, let's say you have been possessed by something, right? Or something has been attached to you, some preta, some bhoot, some pisacha has been bothering you. So you go to these devatas, and these devatas would clear these things. Then say you went to a kshetra and something follows you back. You stepped on something like an offering, and now you're affected. And then you have no way to solve this issue yourself, and you go to seek help from these devatas. And especially if it's nefarious spirits, ghosts and things like that, they are the specialists in removing these things quickly without causing you any harm.
Is it possible for any random person to invoke the power of Shetrapalak or become an oracle?
So example, because a lot of these Shetrapalakas like Karuppan are Grama Devatas.
Okay.
So Grama Devatas are easy to worship. So when I say not everyone is qualified to do a mantra sadhana of a deity, right? Not everyone is qualified to be an oracle themselves, but to get their blessings, it's very easy. You can do their Nam Japa, right? You can light a diya for them with sesame oil. Every week, every Friday, you can offer do, and you just keep chanting their name, they will come and assist you.
During my podcast journey, I have met many people who claim that they are the sadhak and they have directly connection with some deities or even the god. They have some supernatural power, they can feel something. But in my opinion, a true sadhak will never come to the camera and say, I'm the sadhak, I have met the god, I can invoke the power of the god. Sadhana is not that easy. What's your opinion on this? And additionally, can we do the sadhana of Karuppan Swami?
So you have to know why you want to do sadhana for Shetrapalaka first and foremost. What is the reason you're doing?
Like they say, to help people?
You want to protect yourself, you worship a deity. See, Karuppan is not the only protector. In, let's say in Tantra, they mention there are 7 great protectors. The Shetrapalakas, Ganesha, Batuka, Hanuman Swami, Skanda, Mrityunjaya Shiva, Sugriva, and other deities. Right? So all of them in Tantra are considered the 7 protectors. So all of these who you feel that you have a connection to and you want protection in your life, you can worship. If you have an affinity. So when I mean affinity, let's say everybody is born with certain affinity. Things they like, things they don't like. Either from their past life's karma or something they have been taught when they were growing up. If you watch Avengers, one person might like Captain America, one person might like Thor, one person might like Hulk. Right? So a person with a specific affinity, they might, let's say they were bullied in school. They wish they were stronger, but they don't like people who show off. Right? Because of the experience in school, they might like someone like Hanuman Swami, who is strong, but is humble, who doesn't take advantage. If someone has been pushed by their discipline master and their headmistress and things like that, they don't like authority. Right? They always hate people who use authority. They might like an anti-authority figure like Karuppan or Bhairava and all that, who doesn't follow these rules, because Bhairava is known to have plucked the head of Brahma, right? So for them, a deity that is smokes cigars and drinks alcohol would something that resonate with them, right? So everyone has their own resonance, and you should follow that resonance and worship the deity that you have a resonance with. If you have no resonance with any deity and you want to get into spiritual pursuits, then you start with Ganesha, because Ganesha connects you to all the deities, and he is like almost everybody's favorite. Ganesha is every deity's favorite friend.
Ganesha is a Soumya Devta?
Ganesha, you can't just say he's a Soumya or he's a Ugra Devata and all things like that, because see, Ganesha is known as the one who is controlling of the Vinayakas. So the Vinayakas are these very troublesome, this impish kind of creatures who cause obstacles and things like that, and Ganesha is supposed to be the king of these Vinayaks. Right? So he controls these beings. He also controls Bhuta Pretas and all of them, because Ganesha's other name is Ganapati. Right? He is the Pati. He is the Pati of the Ganas. Ganas are all sorts of beings, including Bhuta Pretas and everything. Most people do not know that because they have made him into this cute little bubbly fat figure, Ganu, Baba and these kind of things like that. But he is, in actual fact, he's a control of all of these beings. So when you were previously asking me, how to protect yourself when you are going to these Kshetras and all that, I said, worship Shetrapalakas. Firstly, you can worship the Shetrapalaka of that Kshetra for some time before you go to the Kshetra. Or if there's a Shetrapalaka like Karuppan or Khatu Shyam or Kal Bhairav around your area, you can worship them for some time. Let's say 9 weeks, you just go and worship, do the Nam Japa for some time before you go visit a Kshetra. But for some people, whenever they see a Ugra Devata, then they get scared. They like that Krishna, they like that very Saumya Devatas, and they cannot connect with a Ugra Devata. So they would still want protection. They want protection, but they don't want Ugra Devatas. Then you can worship Ganesha. So anyway, Ganesha Sadhana is the main sadhana I teach and initiate Shishyas on. And like I said, in Tantra, he is one of the Shetrapalikas. So you can still connect with such a Devata like Ganapati when you do his sadhana, and he will give you that protection, general protection, and the protection whenever you visit these places. And also when you want to connect to other devatas. Let's say your Ishta is Shiva, right? Your Ishta is Devi, your Ishta is Narayana. When you do this sadhana, you will become a bigger devotee of Narayana. You become a bigger devotee of Devi. You become a closer person to your Ishta. So that's why he is always told to be worshipped first.
I have observed that most of the people nowadays don't know about the Ishta Devta. And is there any way, like, how can we find our Ishta Devta, or is it mandatory to know about the Ishta Devta?
Not really. So, because the term Ishta Devta has a lot of different meanings. Astrologically, is a different meaning.
As in?
So, example, astrologically, a Jyotishi will look at your chart and look at certain houses in your chart. Like the 9th house is the house of blessings, right? And you'll see the planet that is the ruler of that 9th house and which deity is related to the 9th house. And they will say that deity is your Ishta because worship of the deity gives you quicker benefits. And in that way, there's a lot of astrological way you can calculate Ishta Devata that you get quick benefits from. But that is the astrological side. In the normal day-to-day speaking, when we say Ishta Devata, this is the deity we like, right?
Okay.
Oh, I like this deity. I like. You might not pray to him, but whenever you, let's say you're just a normal person, you go to temple once in a while. But whenever you hear this Hanuman's name, Hanuman, you have a certain liking.
So anyhow, the Ishta Devta will find us.
Yes.
In your journey, have you seen someone who was possessed by an actual demonic entity and he or she came to you for seeking help or get the solution?
So, you see, possession is just a general term.
Okay.
So, the different levels of possession. It's not just possession and not possession. Different levels means that some is just a mental possession. So, mental possession is they went somewhere and it was that place something was having a bad energy. So, when it's a mental possession, they start having bad dreams. Right? There is one level of possession. There is also environmental possession. They are okay most days. When they go to this particular place, they go to this specific relative's place. Whenever they come back, they get sick.
Okay.
Right? So it's just in a specific place. Right? Full-on possession is very, very rare where that thing is inside you and all that. Mostly it's this mental, environmental kind of possession. Unless it's like some person like a nefarious black magician who has sent certain entities and things like that. And that is another matter. But most of the time it's these kind of things where it is easily clear. Right? So some people have asked me, like, now people who are urban dwellers, they don't have access to authentic tantric or authentic oracle. How can they save themselves? Let's say they have been somewhere and something is happening, right? So they can always take some flowers, let's say sweet smelling flowers with nice smell, like that marigold and things like that, and jasmine. Take some turmeric, lemon, vibhuti, bring it to a temple of Shetrapalaka, right? Like even Karuppan Swami temple is also fine. Or a Bhairava temple. Get the Pandita to place it at the deity's feet. Ask the Pandita to recite 108 names, the stotra of the Devata, and you sit down there in front of the Devata and tell the Devata that I can't sleep, I'm having these bad dreams, I went to this place, there's something is happening, can you help me? And in full-heartedly you tell the Devata. And then that blessed item you bring back home, you put it in a bucket, add some water, say the Devata's name and just shower. And get someone else to pick up all these things, that fallen lemon and everything, and put it under a tree. Usually these things go away.
So in Sanatan Dharma, everything is symbolical. So could you please tell us about the look of the Karuppan Swami and what does it actually symbolize?
So Karuppan Swami is a Mooladhara Devata.
Okay.
Just like Ganapati is a Mooladhara Devata, Karuppan Swami is a Mooladhara Devata. But Ganapati deals with things differently. Karuppan deals with things differently. So Ganapati removes obstacles for you. Right? Things that you cannot see. This answer is hidden from your sight. You want this solution. He will first make you a better person, remove all your own inner negativity. So it's a longer process, right, to remove and become a better person. Now, at the same time, there will be some situations in life we can't become our best selves to make a move. We need to make a decision now. Like, even with fear, we cannot be frozen. Despite the fear, having the fear, we need to move. So Karuppan Swami is the kind of deity that you move first. This problem we have to solve later, but now you need to take action. You cannot be frozen in fear. So he gets you to take that action without being a victim.
If possible, can we please discuss in details about the look of the Karuppan Swami?
So he has a big mustache, right? Big mustache. He has long hair that flows all the way down. It's not tied up. So it means he's unrestrained. Right? And he is a deity for the common man. Because he's not like a vegetarian deity where there's certain strict padatis to follow. Right? You offer him alcohol, he'll take alcohol. You offer him a cigar, he's going to take cigar. You offer him chandan and javad, kind of nice smelling scents, he will take it. Right? He carries a chain that is used to hunt ghosts. Sometimes he carries they call it a whip. Whip.
Okay.
It's also for the same reason. So this deity is used or is meant for protection. And like I said, different vahanas of a deity represents what they are. Right? Ganapati has a rat. The rat is like the rat always finds a solution. You cannot trap a rat. It always dig up somewhere and escape, right? So Ganesha always finds solutions for you, right? Just like the way the bull for Shiva. So bull is always seated there and is always observing Lord Shiva. It's seated still. So Shiva is that way, that Vairagi. Karpan is a horse, right? Fast acting, quick acting, fast justice. So that is Karuppan Swami.
It is seen that people are more attracted towards the fast acting gods or the deities, or we can call them the Ugra Devta. So is it a good going?
See, every person has certain gunas. A Satvika person will be attracted to Satvika deities. A Rajasika person will be attracted to Rajasika deities. A person who is tamasic in nature will be attracted to tamasic deities. Right? So it depends on the individual. So the rise of Ugra forms of devatas or Ugra sadhanas, they are good for protection of the Bharat generally. Protector of the Kshetras and things like that. Yes, we need such Ugra devatas, but they should also be balanced with that stability of the Mooladhara of Ganesha. So you can't have one without the other.
So here's your book on the screen. Could you please tell us how can we get this?
So I think I've written enough about Bhairava and Krama Devatas and Karuppan Swami and how they relate to Hindu Dharma in general in my book, and people can just get the book and then whatever I say and more is inside that book itself.
Guruji, I know that there are many things which we have left. There are a number of things which we can discuss in our upcoming podcast. Guruji, we had great time with you, and I know that one podcast is not enough to discuss in detail about the Karuppan Swami or our gods or any deity. We need to do some more podcasts, and seriously, I would love to listen more from your side in some upcoming podcast. So thank you so much for your time. Jai Shri Ram.
Thank you. Jai Shri.
Jai Shri Ram.